Good afternoon, ladies. Welcome to our Wow Wednesday of the week. If you're new here, I know I have a lot of new members in this group, so at first I just want to say hi, welcome. Hopefully you've been able to check out some of the things that we have going on here in the group. If you haven't, make sure you check out all the things that we are talking about and learning about here. So that's first. I want to just welcome you, any of you who are new. And if you're jumping on here with me today, just give me a little like, give me a little wave, say hi so that I know that you're here and you're listening. I'm really excited to dive into our topic today, talking about what is one of the biggest hurdles. This is something that I've been hearing a lot, and it's something that I struggle with as well. And so I wanted to talk about this today because I think that's why we're here in this group. That's what I am trying to provide for you guys here, is just some resources to help us figure out how we can get ahead, right, in this journey of health and fitness. So if you're here, if you are excited, even if you're watching the replay, make sure you put in the comments watching the replay and you're excited to be here. Just give me a thumbs up, give me a like, give me a wow. Something to let me know that you're excited and you're ready to get going, all right? Really quickly, I'm just going to make sure we are live in our Facebook group and make sure my volume is off. I want to make sure I don't miss any comments. So if you guys have questions as I go along, as I talk about this, whether you're watching it now or you're watching it later, make sure you let me know what questions you have so that I can address those. Oh, okay, that's not going to work. Okay, all right. Well, we're going to get going. I see that we're live, so I will try to look at the end and see if there's any questions as we get going. So today we are talking about the number one hurdle that is keeping you from losing weight. And why is this happening to us? Okay, I think this is one of those things where we allow this to happen in our lives, and sometimes we realize it and sometimes we don't. And I definitely have been guilty of this, so I want to share some of my struggles with you and some of the things that have worked for me. So again, I just want to welcome you guys to this training. This group is for Moms of Faith, and we have a desire to get healthier in spirit, soul, and body so that we can live a life that we were designed to live, a life that's designed to thrive and not survive anymore, right? That's why we're here in this group. Hopefully you've checked out my welcome video and I talk a little bit about that. But every week I'm going to be here providing some value for you every week. I see Brianna, hey Jacqueline, thanks for hopping on. So today I want to go ahead and get going on our subject of talking about what is this hurdle that's standing in the way of helping us lose weight. And I was just saying that this is a huge struggle for a lot of us. I see this happening a lot. I've talked to several of you guys recently in our, in a quick little chat talking about what's going on with you, where are you at in your health journey? What are you struggling with? What are the main things that you want to focus on and where do you want to go, right? That's what I do as a coach, is help us figure out what the problem is and what's the solution, right? So again, let's just get going into this. And I want to really quickly talk and give a little shout out to one of my clients, Samantha Myrick. She's been doing a super awesome job working with me. She's following the steps. She is working on her consistency, right? Consistency is something that takes some time to figure out what works. And so she's doing that, and she's lost some weight. I think she's lost a good 15 pounds since she's been working with me, and she's staying steady. We're working through some issues to hopefully get that going and continue her weight loss journey. So I just want to give her a shout out. If you're here watching, give her a clap, give her a good job, thumbs up. You're doing awesome, because you all know how hard the journey can be, and so she's doing a great job. So I wanted to give her a little shout out really quickly. So the number one thing that is holding us back, I want to share a story really quickly with you guys. When last year, when everything shut down, back in March of 2020, I remember the first couple of weeks of lockdown being like mixed emotions of, like, I'm definitely someone who is fast-paced. I like to do everything, do all the things, and it was kind of one of those points where you're like, oh, I can't go anywhere. Like, you kind of have this epiphany of like, oh, I don't know, I might like this, I might not like this. But I just remember going through all of those emotions of like, this is horrible, maybe it's not so bad, and then it's like, how long is this gonna last, and all of those things. And the first couple of weeks of lockdown, I remember feeling very emotional, angry, probably all of the emotions, everything that runs through your head. And the main thing I remember thinking was, I just wasn't paying attention to really anything that I was doing. I was focused on social media. I was watching the news. I was really engulfing myself in everything that was going on. And there was a point where I realized, I don't know what I ate today. I don't know if I drank enough water. Definitely didn't get a workout in. I just lost sight of where my health was, right? And so I remember it was probably a couple weeks in, and I was like, I have got to stop this pattern, because I don't know if I had really gained any weight at that point, but I definitely was not eating healthy. I was just kind of flying with whatever, going with the flow. And so I've talked about this before, like I have a autoimmune disease, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more here in a second. And so I had worked with a nutritionist, and for me to really thrive in life, I need to watch my nutrition, and I need to be a little bit more detailed about it. And so I had started doing which I still do, I write my food down every day, what I eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, all of it. I keep track of how many macros I eat in a day. I have a specific plan that I'm supposed to follow. And I had realized actually it was probably like a month before this, that I had kind of stopped doing that. I was like, yeah, I know what I'm eating. I can figure it out. I know how to eat healthy, right? I know how to do it. But even in just those 2 weeks of the first lockdown and not being aware of what was going on, I was feeling really stressed. I was feeling really anxious. Again, all the emotions, angry, all of the above. And I realized, gosh, I am really stressed out right now. And it was because I was so focused on what was going on in the world, and I wasn't really focused on me and my self-care. I wasn't focused on my family. Right? And so if you can relate and you have been there, say, yes, this is me, like life has taken over at some point, like if this is you now, or if you've been there in the past, and you felt stressed, right? Just put in the comments, say me. Yep, that's me. Yep, yes. Whatever you want to put, yes, me. Put that in the comments and let me know, is that you? Have you dealt with this before? I'm pretty sure I'm not alone, because I've been talking to a lot of you lately. This is a major problem, stress, right? And so that's the number one thing that I see when it comes to our health that is holding us back. And you might think, oh, stress, like there's no way to manage stress. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you this first, what I'm going to call, there's two types of stress, and this is the first one. It's just blatantly being self-inflicted stress. It's not paying attention. It's being absorbed in what's going on around you. It's not caring about yourself or your family or your world. And it's called self-inflicted stress. And we all struggle with this, okay? So that's the first scenario I wanted to talk about when it comes to stress. And so what happens when we're stressed? And again, I've talked to a lot of you lately, and you stress eat, you emotional eat. And why is this a problem for us, right? And we're going to dive into this in next week too. But this week I just wanted to kind of talk about stress itself and what it's doing to you, what it's doing to our bodies. And so, again, if you can relate, if this is one of your problems, stress, just put yes in the comments or put me in the comments and be like, yes, I get this, I'm there. Or yes, I've dealt with that, and that's me. Because here's the thing, and talking about my first scenario of self-inflicted stress, it's not being aware that it's happening to you, but it's something you do have control over. I'm going to say that again. You do have control over self-inflicted stress. Okay? And this is very, very important and very, very necessary for us to be aware of what's going on in our life. Are you causing your stress? I'm not saying across the board necessarily, but what is it that you are doing that is causing you stress? And again, I'm guilty. I've been there. I've been there this week. I'll be honest. And so it's like, how do we deal with this self-inflicted stress? And so what normally happens, right, is we stop thinking about what's best for us, what's best for our health. We stress eat, we emotionally eat, because we're maybe some of the thoughts that are going around in your head is, I'm tired, I'm too tired to think about it, it's too hard, what's the point? Why even try, right? That's how you feel when, or what the mindsets that are going through your mind when this type of stress is happening, and or any type of stress, really, right? It's the stress of whether it's self-inflicted or the next one I'm going to talk about here in just a second, is you lose focus of where you need to be. You lose focus of maybe your purpose even in life, because all of the stuff that's going on in the world, all of the stuff that you're responsible for, it feels like a lot, right? And so you yourself take on that stress of not taking care of me, not taking care of you. And again, it's called self-inflicted stress. And so if that's you, put me in the comments, put yes in the comments. I want to talk about another scenario of a type of stress. And this can be an actual stress in your life that you may need some medical assistance for. Okay, so I'm going to share again. I've talked about this a little bit. If you are new here, then you'll get to hear about this a little bit more. But I have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's. It's a thyroid disease. I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism probably 8 years ago after I had my daughter. Sometimes pregnancy can kick that into gear. Just so you know, if you're pregnant and you start to experience symptoms of being very, very tired, losing tons of hair, and this is abnormal, postpartum symptoms, that's normal. But if this is above and beyond and you're anxious, depressed, any of these things, make sure you check with your doctor and get on that. And that's what I wanted to share is that happened to me about 8 years ago. And I want to talk about this type of stress because again, there may be a path that you need to be on to getting rid of this type of stress. And so I remember after I had my daughter will be 8 in February. It's crazy. We decided we were going to buy this house that we live in currently. She was 3 months old, and we lived in an apartment at the time. We found this house. We love this area. We love the school district, all of that, wanted to plant our feet finally and find a house. And so we bought this house. It's a great deal. We love the area, and we got to the point where it was time to start, moving in. And we wanted to do some painting and all of those things before. And we had some time because we were in an apartment, so we had some, leeway there. And I remember I think my husband and a friend of ours, they were painting upstairs. And I don't know what I was doing, but the people who had lived in this house before us had cats. And needless to say, I think they had not been living here, but they had left their cat here. And some of you who know me know this story. And that night, my husband and our friend discovered that a lot of the cat or whatever had peed in some of our air vents. Like the air vents were disgusting. And we had also left the curtains, and there was like cat hair everywhere. I kid you not. It was in the refrigerator. It was like, yeah, we had to throw pretty much everything away. Like, so I had discovered this, I think the same night, that like cat hair was everywhere. And like my husband is definitely allergic to cats. And not deathly, but he will literally he'll need Benadryl to like breathe, and he'll be sneezing, and it's just not good. And so like I'm literally having a meltdown, and my husband had, I think it was the same night, it may have been a different time, but he told me, I remember him saying, "Don't come upstairs." And I was like, "Why? What is going on?" He's like, "Don't." I'm like, "What? You have to tell me what's going on." And that's when he explained that he's like, pretty sure a lot of these vents have cat pee in them. I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyways, that was our experience with buying this house, moving in. I have a 3-month-old, and I'm already stressed. I'm not sleeping. And so I remember feeling very anxious, very depressed, all of the things. And I think I kind of got past that, and it was maybe like a few months into living here. I just was not feeling happy. I was not feeling normal. I mean, I wasn't having like horrible thoughts, but I had lots of fears. And I have a 5-month-old, 6-month-old to take care of. And I just remember thinking, this isn't right. Something is wrong. And it's not postpartum, because postpartum it can last a lot longer now, we know that. So it may have been postpartum, but I finally decided to call my OB, and I was like, something's not right. I am just a mess. And so this is a different type of stress, and this is the stress that I want to talk about, is hormonal imbalances, medical imbalances, those kind of things that can be going on. Okay, sometimes it's hard to know the difference, but here's the key, and this is what I wanted to talk about. And so I called my OB, and we did some tests, and she checked my thyroid, and that was the main thing that she checked. And come to find out, things were not balanced; they were imbalanced. And so over a period of a year, we figured that out. And at first, I was actually hyperthyroid, which means I was producing too much of the hormone that I needed, and then it slowed down to where I wasn't producing enough of the thyroid hormone. So that was my first experience with a different type of stress where things were just not normal. Has anyone else experienced this before? Let me know. Have you ever had some sort of hormonal imbalance happen to you? Whether, because sometimes it can happen menopause, sometimes, it really, you just need to pay attention to it. And so if you start to feel different things that just aren't normal, and life is pretty good otherwise, like, why am I upset about, every little detail? Maybe it's a little stressful. And that was the thing, like, well, we're moving, and like I have a newborn, like obviously I'm stressed, but it never really went away. And that's the thing, is like sometimes there's periods of stress. Again, a lot of times those self-inflicted types of stress, they're shorter periods, because you figure out, oh gosh, I need to change some things and make it better. And it was like this type of stress, which I'm going to call hormonal stress, it just wasn't going away. And I was just overwhelmed. Like, life was just way too overwhelming. And so, again, if that's you, if you've ever dealt with that, put me in the comments, put yes, I've struggled with that. Because this is another very important area of stress that we need to make sure that we're addressing. And actually, I usually do my Wow Wednesdays at 11:30 on Wednesday, which I will be doing that next week and going forward. Today I had to do it at 12:30 because I actually had a doctor's appointment. I got some blood work done last week to check some things, just to make sure that I'm healthy. And so I had my follow-up appointment today with my doctor, and things are looking good and great. And so that's my first advice to you. If you're struggling with any sort of hormonal stress, if life is just way too overwhelming, and you are not able to think straight even, you need to get an appointment with your doctor set up, like first thing, ASAP, as soon as possible. Because that is something that only a medical physician can really help you dive into. And then once you kind of figure out what's going on, or if there's something going on, you can move on from there. So, but just to preface both of these things, both of these types of stress, I want you to know that, again, God hasn't designed us to just survive in life. And so if you're dealing with any of these two types of stress, we've got to figure out how to get rid of it, right? Either you need to check with your doctor, or the self-inflicted stress, we need to figure out why that's happening to you, right? Why are you stress eating? Why is it so emotional? Maybe you're just way too busy. Maybe you need to slow down a little bit. Maybe you need to make more time for you. We've been talking about that the past couple of weeks. Taking time for your self-care. You gotta slow down. And I'll tell you why too. This is the number one reason why you're not losing weight. It's because your body is stressed out. Stress causes inflammation of your body. It makes your body go into starvation mode. So, and especially if you're not eating enough. If you think that you're eating less calories and you're trying to lose weight and you're still not losing weight, you might have some inflammation build up, and it could be stress. And so this is why it's so important that we know that this is going on and that we know we need to deal with it. And so I wanted to talk really quickly just about, what does the Bible have to say about stress too? Because I think that's really important. We're learning how to spiritually and physically get healthier. But a lot of things when it comes to believers, we need to wrap around the spiritual aspect first. And so if you're self-inflicted stress, and I'm guilty, I've been there, this week I've been there, your self-inflicted stress, first of all, can probably be alleviated if you spend more time on the Word. Your self-inflicted stress can be alleviated a lot more if we will just spend a few minutes in the Word. Maybe it's doing a quick devotional, finding some devotional on YouVersion about stress and how to deal with it. We did that I think a month ago. We did a little challenge where a bunch of us read the same devotional for 7 days. And it was awesome. And, the Word has a lot to say about stress. The Word has a lot to say about fear, because I think fear can also be a side effect of stress. Maybe fear of the what ifs of what's going on in our head. And so it's a familiar verse, but I wanted to read it again from Philippians 4. I'm going to start from verse 4 because I think it's a good context. And it says, "Always be full of joy in the Lord. I say it again, rejoice." So he wants us to have joy. Remember, joy is something that we can have and not necessarily be happy, but we can be content with the Lord, right? He can bring us peace. He can bring us joy, even when circumstances are crazy. He says in verse 5, "Let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Remember, the Lord is coming soon." Verse 6 says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus." So I just wanted to use that as a reminder. That's what the Word has to say about stress. That's what the Word has to say about fear. That's what the Word has to say about anxiousness. And so it's not a part of who we are supposed to be. It's not a part of who we are in Christ. And if that's something that you struggle with, understanding who you are in Christ and who you are designed to be, then, send me a message. Let's chat. Let's talk about it. And if you're struggling with this, if you're struggling with self-inflicted stress, if maybe you're struggling with some hormonal stress, and you just need some extra help, focusing, dialing in on who you are in Christ and having that being poured into your life, that's what this group is for, and that's what I'm here for. And so make sure you let us know that you have those things that you want to talk about, you want to maybe have a question about, post it in the group, or send me a message and let me know. And, again, if this is you struggle with any of these types of stress, put yes. in the comments and let me know, because I'm here for you. I want us to thrive in life. I want us to realize the purpose and the plan that God has for us. And it's a plan to prosper, right? That's what Jeremiah 29:11 says. It's a plan. He has a future for you, and it's good, right? And so next week, I want you guys to tune in, because we're going to talk about what it means to eat to live. Yes, we're going to talk about eating to live and not living to eat. Because this is something else I see. It follows stress eating. It follows emotional eating. And so how can we do this? How can we eat to live and not live to eat? Why is that happening? And how and what can we do to get out of that mindset? So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So make sure that you tune in. Let me check really quick. I don't know if there are any comments. If there are any comments or you do have any questions, I will make sure to jump on and check them and see. Okay, yeah, I don't see anything. So, but if you do have questions, or if that's you, say yes in the comments and let me know. I am struggling with some stress. I'm struggling with self-inflicted stress, or I'm struggling with maybe some hormonal stress. Just put yes in the comments, put me in the comments to let me know that's you. And I will reach out to you, or you can reach out to me, and we can chat about it, and we can hopefully start figuring some of these things out. All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, tune in next week, because we'll be talking about how to eat to live, not live to eat. All right. See you guys soon.